So what's happening, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to motivate you a bit and get you working towards being productive while I'm telling you that you actually don't need motivation to be productive, right? I'm at a point in my life where I have so many balls up in the air and it's becoming a lot for me to handle. I'm a mom. I work a 9 to 5. I have this YouTube channel to be consistent with. I serve a church, and we currently have another conference in 2 weeks' time. I have school. I have a submission tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but you know what? We keep we keep pushing, right? So follow my thinking here on this one because I really just want to talk. When we find ourselves feeling unproductive, we often blame it on a lack of motivation. We sort of like think to ourselves, if only I could summon that energy or that drive, then I would be able to like tackle my to-do list. And it's a common thought that many of us have, believing that motivation is this magical force that we need, which is external, and we need it to get things done. But what if I told you that we might have it all wrong and that maybe motivation is not the spark that we should be waiting for, but it's something that's entirely different, right? I'll tell you what I'm thinking because we often look to motivational videos and quotes and social media influencers for inspiration and hoping that it will propel us into taking action. But the reality is that whenever we rely on external forces for literally anything, most of the time it leads to disappointment because motivation is often short-lived. Like in my case, I'd put out content on the channel only when I feel motivated, and it would be so short-lived and I would be excited and literally in a day maybe film like 2 videos and schedule them, and then that spark just goes, and then I'd go weeks without uploading and sort of like waiting for that motivation to spark again. So instead of waiting for motivation to strike, perhaps we just need to recognize that the real key to feeling motivated is to take that first step of action. And no matter how small it is, just take it. Because think about it this way. Have you ever had like a rush of satisfaction after you've completed a small task? And maybe it's like you decided that you're going to organize that one shelf in your wardrobe and you successfully do it and you tick it off of your to list, like your to-do list. And then because that's like a form of success, it creates this rush, like this victory, right? That makes you want to go and do more, right? So if you break it down further, imagine you set a goal that you need to read the whole Bible for a year. This is just an example. I'm Christian. And you might feel overwhelmed at the thought of reading the whole Bible. And you think to yourself, I need motivation to start reading, or I need to feel like it. But what if you shift your perspective and instead of waiting for that magical motivation, you just simply commit to reading one chapter a day? And by doing that, you experience a small success, and that success gives you a boost of motivation to sort of like read more chapters, or you read 2 chapters, or you just follow like a storyline until the end, however many chapters that is. And before you know it, you're making steady progress on your Bible reading. And that is because you just took that first small step to just read one chapter. So if we sum the idea up, it's that motivation isn't really like a spark that will ignite action, but it's like the fire that grows after you've taken the first step towards the goal. And this understanding can literally be like a game changer and open new possibilities in your life. Another thing is that I wanted to talk about, or at least that I was thinking about, is processes instead of just focusing on the goal. Like, we have this thing that it's very important for us to set goals, which it is very important. Like, the year starts and we set goals and we have New Year resolutions and things like that, and we set clear goals and we know what we want to achieve, right? But we kind of don't get to the how. or like the journey part of it. So I'm a business analyst by profession, and just having a goal is not enough. And it can sometimes create unnecessary pressure if you just have the goal but you haven't gone into the how. Like, while goals are important, they can also hinder progress if you don't have a solid process in place. So you set like a lofty goal, like, oh, I want to lose like, I don't know, like 5 kgs or something, I don't know. And it can be so easy to become fixated on the end goal. Let's just say you say you want to lose weight, right? This fixation of, oh my gosh, I need to lose weight, it can lead to disappointment if you don't see immediate progress. And most of the time, you will not see immediate progress with some of the goals that we're setting. And realizing that getting to a goal is a journey, and the success is more about the processes that we put in place to reach those goals than the goals themselves. For example, if your goal is to like run a marathon, for instance, instead of focusing on that day of the race, you concentrate on like the daily training processes. You set a plan to run a certain number of kilometers a week or a day or whatever, and you gradually increase your distance, or however many times you run a day or week, I don't know. And then you celebrate each milestone along the way. And whether it's completing a new distance, or you increased a new distance or whatever, or you just stuck to your training schedule for a day or for the week or for the month and you were consistent, celebrate those milestones. Like with me, I have such huge goals for my finances. I also share this on my channel, like my financial freedom journey. Right now, I'm paying off debt, and I have these huge goals. Like, I want to be a net worth millionaire by the age of 30, which is in 3 years' time, right? I'm trying to be a millionaire by by the age of 30. I'm 27. I want to have saved 500,000 for my son by the time he's 18. He's 3 now, so I'm giving myself 15 years to save 500,000, right? I have goals like, by the end of next year, I need to have 3 months of an emergency fund saved up. I only have 1 month at the moment, so I have 6 months of an emergency fund, or 3 or 5 months to go. And those are huge goals. Like, those are hefty goals. But the idea is, you have the goal, it's fine, you know what you're trying to work towards. Get to the how now, like this process. How are you going to get to it? The journey, right? For me, I know that if I pay off my debt and I pay off my home loan, like I pay extra on my home loan, and I save and I invest and I put money towards my retirement annuity, and I beef up like my emergency fund and things like that, all of that will contribute to that net worth of 1 million, right? In 3 years' time. And my son having 500,000 by the time he's 18, all I need to do is to just make sure that I'm consistent in putting 3,000 every single month into his tax-free savings account, like for his education, right? And me wanting to have 6 months of an emergency fund saved up, I need to have money that I put aside every single month towards that, like, I know the goal, and the goal is huge, but the how is what is important. And then once you know the how, be consistent. So this process oriented mindset shift, right? You sort of like you move your focus from the end goal to the journey itself. Like, how am I actually going to do this? And it allows you to build momentum and generate motivation through being consistent or taking like consistent actions. And then when you immerse yourself in the process, you then cultivate small habits that support your goal and make the journey more enjoyable. So when I'm talking about habits, but then I'll get to that, I wanted to say one practical tip to keep yourself on track is to change how you talk about your choices. Instead of saying, I can't eat the slice of cake because I'm on a diet, say you don't eat cake because you are focused on being healthy, right? This simple shift reinforces your identity as a person who prioritizes their health. Like instead of saying, yeah, I can't eat out every single day because I have debt, right? That's all negative. But say I don't eat out every single day. It's a choice that I made. I don't eat out every single day because I want to reach financial freedom. I want to be a person that is financially free and I can impact my society, and I don't have to think a lot when I have to make like decisions about eating out in the future, or having my son go out, or going on vacation and things like that. So it's not that I can't do certain things, I choose not to, right? Then it's less about depriving yourself and more about a personal choice that you made that aligns with your values, right? And who you are as a person. And this reframing can significantly impact how you view your choices, and it makes it easier to stick to your processes rather than you feeling like you're battling against external restrictions and, oh my gosh, I can't do that, or oh my gosh, I can't, like it's not about that. And also the power of identity, right? Like how our identity plays a crucial role in pursuing goals. When we focus on our processes and we make decisions based on our identity, we are more likely to stick with them in the long run, because it's personal, like it's who I am. It's something that I identify with. If you identify as a person that's a believer, for instance, you're Christian, you are saved, you believe in Jesus, you are born again, you are a new creation, you're more inclined to make choices that align with that identity. Like that's who you are. And it ties back to using the I don't instead of I can't. If you say I don't wear clothes that reveal my body, you are asserting your identity. You're not just saying no to something, but you're saying yes and affirming who you are. And this approach can be literally applied to any area of your life: fitness, work, personal, church, whatever, beliefs, values, literally everything. Take a moment to think about your own choices or your own goals, and then you make choices that benefit your identity in the long run. For instance, you might say right now, I can't find time to read the Bible. Oh my gosh, I have so many things to do. I can't find the time. If you rephrase that to, I don't prioritize reading the Bible, right? This shift motivates you to seek out opportunities to then read the Bible, whether it's dedicating 10 minutes before bedtime, 30 minutes, or listening to like an audio book on your way to work in the how train, right? Because now it's more about your identity. Like, I'm supposed to be Christian and I'm supposed to be reading the Bible, but I actually am not. Like, be real with yourself and don't say, I can't. No, you don't do it. You can, but you just choose not to. So it works even in the positive side, right? So the key takeaway here is to build your identity around the processes that you want to follow, like in line with your goals. And it's not just about achieving the goal, but it's about becoming the type of person who embodies that goal. Like, this is who I want to be 5 years from now. This is who I'm trying to be 3 years from now. I'm trying to be a millionaire. I don't think millionaires like eat whatever they want to eat and spend their times on everything and anything. No, those are serious people who know what they don't do and know what they want to do and things like that. So I'm embodying that goal, right? It's not just about what I can and cannot do, right? So this approach leads to a more sustainable form of motivation because it taps into your values and your beliefs, like who you are. You are embodying this thing. It's not just external, right? Another thing that I want to talk about in line with motivation, the thing of being all over the place. I don't know how to put it, but I call it me being all over the place. When we limit ourselves to one area of expertise, we kind of like risk developing tunnel vision, and you miss out on innovative ideas that would arise from the intersection of different fields, right? Like, many successful people draw from diverse skill sets and tackle problems creatively. And I know this from being a business analyst and also having like a yes mindset. Sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place, but the thing is, embracing the idea of being an and person can open up a world of opportunities. Like, instead of thinking of myself as I'm just a business analyst, I am a business analyst and I'm a YouTuber and I'm an usher at my church and I'm a social media manager at my church. I run the Instagram page for my church, and I'm a mom, and I love talking about finances, and I love talking about Jesus, and I love talking about productivity and motivation and planning, and being the best version of myself. This mindset encourages exploration, and it allows you to pursue different passions and skills over time. And another thing is, which is the last thing that I want to talk about now, being multifaceted, right? It contributes to our happiness. And many high achievers feel happier when they have multiple facets to their identity. When you rely solely on that one area of your life for fulfillment, you risk putting too much pressure on that one area, right? Like, if someone's entire identity is tied to their career as a business analyst or whatever, they may feel lost or dissatisfied if they face challenges at work, right? Or on the other hand, if you have various passions, right? You into art, you into fashion, you into YouTube, you write, you speak at church and things like you serve at church. You have multiple sources of joy, multiple sources of fulfillment. If one area like sort of like gives you issues or you face challenges, you can draw satisfaction from the other thing. Like right now, my my school, guys, like I really want to be this learned person. I want to have a PhD. I want to be a doctor. I want to be educated on all of those things. But right now, I'm not liking it. But I serve a church. I'm in the media team at church. And that is something that I love, like being creative and drawing like satisfaction from that is like, it kind of like helps me balance. I was even saying the other day in one of our meetings at church with like my just my social media team, we were sort of like putting a lot of things into not perspective but sort of like wanting to formalize things, right? And for me, being creative and creating content is a fun thing. And I was like, guys, if we're going to want to put rules to this thing, like make content like this and do this, then I don't want to do it anymore, because for me this is fun. Like, it's not as serious as a 9 to 5 and all of those things. I draw satisfaction from this. My work is not nice right now. School is not nice right now. If you're gonna want to make this not nice, then I don't want to do it anymore. So be a multifaceted person, and you can draw satisfaction from different places or areas in your life, and just explore. Really, like, it doesn't mean you should spread yourself too thin. Instead, find a balance and allow yourself like the freedom to explore different interests over time, right? Embrace the idea of being a generalist. Like, I'm all over the place, right? You create a more resilient identity that can adapt to changes and challenges in your lives. Like, I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that and I do that. And some of this is not fun, some of that is fun, but you know what? It's who I am, right? So if we're wrapping this up, should we recap? I don't think we should recap, but I think of motivation slightly different. Don't think of it like the thing that you have to wait for to kick in and then you can move and it will kick in, right? Another thing is, set the goals. It's fine, it's nice, set the goals, you have to, but don't end it there. Focus on processes instead of just the goal. Once you've set the goal, forget about it. Now focus on the processes, be consumed by the processes, and know that identity plays a significant role in who you are. Like, like the decisions that you're making, who you are plays a role in the decisions that you're making. And be multifaceted. Like, that will draw motivation. I'm telling you, it will motivate you. If one thing is not working, the other thing will work. Spread yourself, acquire different skills, be like a all over the place person. I don't know how to call it, but be all over the place. But anyway, the next time you find yourself feeling unmotivated, remember that the onus is really on you to take that first step, focus on your process, and then let the motivation follow, right? Yeah, it's Friday. I need to go to church. We have all night prayer. I have a submission tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to go about this, but you know what? Jesus is Lord, and we go with the flow. And some of this is not fun, and there's a lot, too many balls in the air, but it's fine, right? Like we're cruising, right? So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope my chat was like insightful and kind of like inspire you to rethink your approach on motivation and like success and how you can be the best version of yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Check out this video over here, and I will see you guys next week Friday.